welcome back. What's up with how going on? My name is Station, my message is a great thing with an reaching including two Super Saiyans that fight for the fate of the Earth. Welcome back to before Super Saiyans even became a thing once again, because today, once again, we are taking another look at the OG Dragon Ball. This time, the second saga of the franchise, the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai, or World Martial Arts Tournament if you prefer, if you're watching the English dub. This is when they started to try and really lean into the martial arts parts that we become more familiar with Dragon Ball. However, we're not at fully animated fight scenes just yet. Because the fight scenes here are still your usual, like, stop frame kind of thing. We're not to the fully animated stuff quite yet. We're working towards it. We're not quite there yet. So what are my thoughts on the saga overall? Well, it's actually pretty great. I really enjoy this one, and it does a great job building off of the Emperor Pilaf saga, and the solid foundation that saga laid down for this series to build upon. So, without any more further ados or delays, let's talk about this saga via my written review. Enjoy! Following the events of the Pilaf saga, Goku leaves his friends to train with Master Roshi to improve his fighting skills. Unexpectedly, though, he's not the only one seeking training, as a young monk named Krillin, yes, this is Krillin's introduction to the entire franchise, let that sink in, it literally took the second saga for him to actually join the cast, which I'm pretty sure none of you would have expected. Also seeks out the Turtle Hermit as well, having fled from his previous home in an Eastern temple due to relentless bullying from his evil peers due to his size. Krillin has always been tiny. It's just how it is. Joining them along their journey is also a young girl named Launch, who has a very strange split personality and is brought along to keep Roshi company after each day of training while also keeping them all fed. Like, Roshi's first training mission for Krillin and Goku is to bring him a girl. I mean, it's Dragon Ball. You should expect that at this point, especially if you've just watched the first saga. After almost a full year of the very bizarre training that Roshi puts them through, the boys face their first true test, the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai, a martial arts tournament that gathers fighters from all over the globe to compete for a cash prize and the title of the world champion. And yes, I'm going to keep calling it Tenkaichi Budokai, and this is also kind of where the name for one of the most iconic Dragon Ball video game series comes from, Budokai Tenkaichi, or just Budokai. Well, it starts as Budokai 1, 2, and 3, and then you have Shin Budokai, Another Road on PSP, and then you have Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, the iconic ones. And of course, we have a fourth Budokai Tenkaichi on the way, so yeah, that's the whole explanation for that. It's called Budokai Tenkaichi. I'm gonna call this the Tenkaichi Budokai because not only because I'm a bit of an elitist a-hole, but also just because I think it sounds better than the World Martial Arts Tournament. Like, that's boring. A boring name. There is a lot to love about this saga. The training is great to watch while also providing more than a few laughs. Krillin's development from a self-centered cheater to a humble ally while short. No pun intended. No pun intended, but it's a pun. You're welcome. There's my one bad pun per video quota. It's very well done. All the new characters are incredibly enjoyable, along with the return of the main cast from the first arc, especially Launch, who's just an absolute delight every minute she's on screen. The voice acting is still great, it puts a lot more emphasis on the action, the fights are a lot of fun to watch, even though some of them are done just for laughs. Especially Goku vs. Jackie Chun, which is one of the most underrated fights of the entire series. And yes, I will die on that hill. The continued development of the characters is fantastic, the writing is still sharp, the humor is still ridiculously funny, the pacing is still great, and it's pretty rewatchable since it's only 14 episodes and less than 5 hours long. So it's only one episode longer than the previous arc. So, you're not having too much of your time taken from watching this. However, this arc still has a few issues. Some of the fights are just for comedic relief, which can take away a lot of your enjoyability. There's still some low-hanging fruit jokes that are pretty hit or miss. Lack of an actual villain, because we're not at the actual definitive villain sagas yet. Little to no stakes at all. I mean, it's just a martial arts tournament. That's literally it. And many of the returning side characters from the first arc being almost entirely pointless in the overall story, like Puar, Yamcha, Bulma, Bulma, Yamcha, Puar, Oolong, those guys. They're barely in it at all. Even with that said, though, this is still a great arc that started to take the franchise into an action-focused direction that we'd come to expect, and did a great job forwarding the character's development. Sure, it lacks actual stakes, and still relies more on comedy than the action, but it's still enjoyable and fixed the biggest problem of its introductory arc by putting more emphasis on the action. So, yeah. My final verdict for the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament Saga is going to be a strong 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. It's a ton of fun to watch, and I highly recommend it, but it's still nowhere close to being the best of the franchise. Yeah, not quite. It's up there. It's a great saga, but it's not quite, amazing. It's not like best of the best gods here or whatever. It's a great saga. It's low stakes, it's lighthearted, it's easy and quick to watch, and it's just a lot of fun. This is the first World Martial Arts Tournament. This is the first Tenkaichi Budokai, of many more to come, not just in this saga, but also inspiring the tournaments of the later sagas, like the Cell games and, the Tournament of Power. So, yeah. Tournaments have always been part of Dragon Ball's DNA, and this is where it all started. Alright, now to point out a few standout moments for me, and then it's see you next time for the next review. Let's see. This one, yep. I already mentioned this one earlier. Roshi sends Goku to find a girl so he can begin training with them. Then Goku fails that task, and Krillin's introduced and gives Roshi his adult magazines that he was hiding. And he gives them up so he can ride on the Nimbus, because only those of pure heart can ride it, meaning that anyone that doesn't, aka dirty old men like Roshi, can't. So then also, while that's going on, Launch robs a train, being in her outlaw personality, after derailing it with a bazooka and getting chased by the cops. Then Goku and Krillin save Launch, take her back to Roshi, and that finally gets them to succeed in the task, but Launch then turns into her outlaw self again, and shoots the ever-living hell out of them. It sounds violent, but it's funny, because it doesn't actually, hurt or harm any of the characters. It's just for the initial reaction. It's hilarious. Then let's talk about the lessons a little bit. The first lesson is about how fast you can run, and Roshi outpaces both of them. Then the second lesson is the hunt for a stone that Roshi threw into the woods, and Krillin tries to cheat, but gets fooled the first time, then the second time he does cheat and get the stone. But then he also gets some karma by getting accidentally poisoned by Launch, because she decided to serve them pufferfish. It's hilarious. And then this part, as I literally put here in my written review, too adorable not to mention, is Launch acting very motherly to Goku in her normal state. Tucking him into bed and kissing his cheek. It's just too cute not to notice, man. It's not to notice and not to mention. It's too freaking adorable. Then we have lesson 3, which is the milk delivery. Then there's lesson 4, weeding out the crops barehanded. And then this is where Roshi also teaches his mantra, the mantra that would become a staple of not just Goku's actual philosophy and personality, but also of just Dragon Ball in general, which is work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. That is the Turtle Hermit way. Then for the 5th lesson, they help with construction, and the training concludes because it's time for the tournament. And then we'll talk a little bit about the fights. I'm just going to go over them in general. Krillin versus Bacterian is a gag fight. It's not great, but it's okay. Yamcha versus Jackie Chun is actually pretty okay. Then Yamcha discovers that Jackie Chun is Master Roshi. Then there's Ranfan versus Nam, another gag fight. Same with Giran versus Goku, and Goku regrows his tail after it was cut off the first time. And then people are questioning whether his tail is real or not. So what does Goku do? He pulls down his pants and shows his bare rear end. Again, Goku's blatant obliviousness is so friggin' funny. Then you have Krillin versus Jackie Chun, which is a pretty good fight. Goku versus Nam, which is a pretty good fight. And then you have the final round with Goku versus Jackie Chun, which is an awesome fight, and easily the best of the tournament. I'm not going to say who wins, though, because that's a spoiler. So, we're going to end it right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this saga in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And stay tuned, because not only do you have 2 more sagas coming today, because I'm trying to get some extra reviews done early since I have to take a leave on Friday and Saturday for personal family business, but also because we have a day 1 early review and another series review. So, where are we going to start? I think I know where we'll start. I'll see you guys next time for my day 1 early review of Expendables 4.